Hey y'all, this is Sky Juice coming to you live and direct, and I haven't done a live video in so long, but I've been inspired. So if you have seen anything of my content, you have seen that I post a lot about polyamory, and I am super passionate about it. I can't even help it at this point. But I think that all of the positive information that I see about polyamory, the pro-polyamory information out there is not that it isn't useful, but it can be a little bit misleading. So I wanted to go over some of the things that are problematic about polyamory as a love style. So for those who don't know or have never heard, polyamory is navigating multiple relationships. Now, it is not polygamy at all. It is its own thing. It's actually super new age, super into the future, very futuristic thinking. It is living in a world where you have autonomy and freedom to explore the loves that you desire to explore. Polygamy comes from more of an ancient or old style way of loving, and I don't even know if love would be included in this definition of what polygamy is. It's really about duty and responsibility and having multiple partners in the form of spouses. So what I see that is problematic in polyamory, oh gosh, I can list them for days, but I'm just going to go through maybe a few of them, is navigating partnerships. I think the worst that I've ever seen are people who are already in a monogamous relationship who want to open their relationship to invite more people into it. And the problem with that is many times these people who are in their monogamous relationship are having problems already. There's a misfire. Something is not connecting, and their brilliant idea is to invite another party into the relationship, to maybe thinking that will make it better. And I think that's the worst case scenario to start a polyamorous relationship, because in most cases it's only one of the people involved who brings us as a brilliant idea. Oh yeah, let's open our relationship and bring someone else into this mess that we already have. That's like the fastest way to ruin your relationship. But say you decide, say the other person, and I'm going to use the normal example, which is the husband a lot of times brings this up. Sometimes the woman does, but now they have these conversations like, okay, well, let's decide how we're going to do this. A lot of times there is rules and regulations put on how other parties joining their relationship is going to go. For me, at the top of the list, the whole thing is flawed. There should be no reason that your monogamous relationship is desiring you want to transition from a monogamous relationship to a polyamorous relationship. To me, is trash. Very few people do it successfully, and usually it falls under the barrel of you're going to ruin your initial relationship. So what they do to protect the initial relationship is create a whole lot of rules and regulations. And that includes sexually, that includes, if I'm not comfortable with this situation, then she's got to go. So the new party coming in, the third party coming in normally tends to feel like garbage. They tend to feel like disposable. So I don't know who would sign up for a relationship with anybody that if the other person didn't like them, you would have to be kicked to the curb. That right there in itself, just the premise of that idea is unnerving to me. I think that's super problematic, and we have a term for that, and it's called unicorn hunting. And I've read in some groups where some people are like, I want to be a unicorn. So that person who actually desires to be this unicorn they're not really looking for love and compatibility and connection. They're not looking for that. They're looking for a come up. They're looking for housing. They're looking for maybe sexual fantasies to be fulfilled. Maybe they're like, well, I don't really have to be the wife, but I can be essentially a side chick. I don't have to do full responsibility in this relationship, and I'm disposable anyway. So all of that is toxic polyamorous behavior, and it's in good, healthy polyamorous groups, it is not looked at favorably. And I would say that it was probably the top tier, most horrific part of the polyamory community. And I'm just going to keep saying it, because anytime you feel in your life that you're monogamous, you already have a partner, wife, husband, whatever their situation is, and something in you is interested in exploring multiple other people in your relationship, if you do decide to open your relationship, the best way to go about it is actually to date separately. For example, if your other partner agrees to let's open the relationship up, you do not bring a partner in for you and your partner. You just date out, someone else externally. And that's and navigate how that feels first. Because your partner is going to go through a lot of jealousy, withdrawal, fear, a whole lot of feelings. And you got to navigate that first before you bring a fantasy as we're going to bring someone into our relationship. A lot of times couples do this. And the funny part is a lot of times it's the man's idea. And a lot of times the woman goes, when the woman goes for it, the funny part is she's getting more dates than he is. And then he becomes like, oh, I don't like this anymore because I'm being open and transparent, and I'm telling these ladies that I'm dating that I have a wife at home, et cetera, a girlfriend or what have you. We have children, we have the whole thing. And they're not interested in me at all. They don't want to date me. But women will date, men will date women who have a partner because they're like, oh, if he's okay with it, cool. But many women will not date a man who is living with his partner in their home, and it becomes funny because usually he's the one who brings it up to begin with. So that's one of the polyamorous problems, and I think the best way to navigate that, if that is something that you in your tired marriage decide that you want to invite more excitement, another person, you have the desire, and you don't want to break up your marriage, which I would say you shouldn't. I would say navigate polyamory, learn how to communicate, learn how to problem solve, learn how to make agreements. I would say go for that, but I would never say bring someone in for you and your spouse to share. Absolutely not. That is like low level energy. In fact, it's not even really polyamory. They call it monogamy plus one, because you're not being autonomous. What is her interest? What is his interest? What are y'all really looking for? It's in poor taste. Date externally, date on your own. You could bring everyone together eventually, but navigate how that feels emotionally, because you'll probably find out that it won't work. It's not working for you. By the time your partner starts going out on a whole bunch of dates with a whole bunch of fine guys, yeah, you might, I'm talking to the men right now, by the way. You might find out that polyamory is just not for you. A lot of guys are like, well, if we're going to open our relationship, I can date other women, but she can only date other women too. That's called the one penis policy, OPP. That's also looked at as unfavorable, poor polyamory behavior. Yeah, if you are allowed, or y'all give each other license to date other people, then she should be able to date who the hell she wants, and it might not be a woman. Not everyone in polyamory is bisexual. So there's that. Another case scenario, especially if you're already partnered and you want to explore polyamory, then the last case scenario I would say should be you just end your marriage or your relationship, because trying to involve the person who you've had this monogamous relationship with for ever so long is going to be super difficult to get them to regulate their emotions, their nervous system, and this is something you want to do, just end it. Just go on with your life and your marriage and your relationship, whatever it is. Move out, separate, and go try polyamory over here. Because that way they can make choices. I'm sure in most cases when I say I know that there are so many people who want to do this, I think there are more people who want polyamory, want to try it, want to explore it, than who actually live it. That's problematic in our society because what is going on is people have desires to be with other people and they really honestly don't want to cheat. They don't want to hurt their partner. They don't want to leave their partner. They just want more and they're not satisfied. They want, you have to, monogamy is a funny thing where you have to search for a long time and find someone who matches you a good high percentage. We're not going to say 100%, a good 65% of your likes, needs, and desires. And what happens when people don't find that person? They settle. So most people are involved with someone who they've settled for. I believe that fully. I believe that the person you actually wanted wasn't available or you didn't find them. And so the person that you are with now long-term, have married, have children, is the person you settled for. Love of your life, maybe it became that, but I doubt seriously that most people walking on the planet are with that dream person that they wanted in their life. They're with the person who agreed to go down this road with them and make it work. And you know what happens long term? Resentment. So, yeah, for me, I think that polyamory is something that will grow as people become more brave to live this way out loud, because people are living this way not out loud, in secret. People are having love affairs. They have friends that they won't cross the line. I don't think everyone is a cheater, to be honest. But I know that people in their mind wish. You know how many people who have said, I wish I can do that? I wish I can do that because I signed up for monogamy and I have to live it and die with it. So I think people are getting more brave about it. I think people are understanding that while they love the person they're with or that they want to be with, they also desire and can love somebody else over here. And hey, they might be interested in this person over here. And this person is pretty attractive over here. And why can't that be a cohesive lifestyle? That is, Eleanor said, no way. It is happening because people are doing it underground. That's the problem. That's, to me, what's more problematic than anything else, is polyamorous people have made a conscious decision to just be honest and transparent about the fact that they love abundantly, when we all do. It's our natural state of being. Our natural state of being is to be loving. And that can look like anything. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be sexually active with everybody who's in your circle. It doesn't mean that at all. And a lot of people are not. But having this monogamy, you can't sell me on monogamy because it's failing to me. And it's failing more and more as the years go by. There are more people who are either not getting into relationships, not lasting in relationships, not getting married. Divorce rate is high. How many people are married and miserable? How many people are, oh my God, this morning I just turned on my phone and one of my friends on my personal page, the husband is posting his wife having mental health breakdown. And he's done this several times. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on in their life and why is he so disrespectful to her, that if she's crashing out, why are you going to put a live on to show the world that this is what you guys are going through? I think he's crying for help, but that's not the way you do it, especially if he's done this multiple times, and especially if the comments in the section were like, hey guy, this is not it. Hey guy, this is not it. If your wife is disrespecting you, you're also equally disrespecting her. And these are the tragedies that happen when you stay involved. Like, people don't need to stay with their person. You could respect them more. I mean, I feel like respect should be life. If love doesn't last, respect should last. Like, respect should be the number one thing. And if you can't respect the partner you're with, why are you there? If she is crashing out and cursing you out and making you feel less than and diminishing you, while on top of that, children are walking around the house, so they're hearing all of this toxic life, don't sign me up for that at all. I just find that to be crazy work. But yeah, there are problems in polyamory as there are in monogamy, and they need to be addressed. And the only usual problem is humans. People make them. In theory, it's all good. Another thing about polyamory that is problematic is when you meet someone and they, the question, even in monogamy or polyamory, he's like, well, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And they say, well, I want to have 2 partners or 3 partners, 3 women, and we all live together in one big house. And I want to do, this is because this has been told to me several times. And I said, well, have you ever done that before? Have you ever lived that way before? Have you ever navigated living with people you are involved with romantically all together, navigating emotions, feelings, communication, bills? Have you ever done that before? No, well, one time I had a threesome. That is not that. Coming in on some polyamorous shit with a fantasy of how you want it to be set up is low-level thinking to me. It is fantasy thinking. It is not realistic. It is subpar. It is a lot of things that are not realistic. You can't navigate dating more than one person is the first test. First, navigate dating 2 people at the same time while not living with either of them, navigating time, connection, communication, making sure everyone's needs are met before you say to anyone, what I'm looking for is to create this house of love where everyone I'm involved with comes and lives in the same house. That is also fantasy behavior because, while that may be a goal, you don't know how people respond. You don't know if you can even handle the navigation of it. It's giving polygamy, where in a polygamous marriage, the husband in polyandry, I think that's polyandry. There's polygyny and polyandry. Whichever one is the one where the man is the primary spouse and he has multiple wives. He's supposed to take care of all of them. That's what is traditional. In these days and age, it's like, no, let's all live together and basically roommate, like Hugh Hefner. Well, actually, Hugh Hefner was probably taking care of all the bills, but everyone has their own bedroom. Everyone's paying into the pot. Let's build our empire. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that sounds like a tragedy. That's a TV show. No, that doesn't sound healthy because, I've seen some of the couplings or the thruplings or the quad, however many people are in one household with like 9 kids and all that stuff. Yeah, it's giving, I don't have nowhere to go. So yeah, I don't see that. I do see it as a family-ish type vibe, but I don't see that as I'm making choices to be autonomous and free, and I'm loving this situation, and we're all here together. And I rarely see it. Does it happen? Yes. I know a throuple that is one woman with 2 guys. They bought a house together. She has a kid with one of them. She has another kid from an ex relationship, and they bought a house as 3, and they all live together, and it works. The guys date other people. She dates other people as well. They're all autonomous. They put their money together. They have this house. It's cohesive. I think that's beautiful. I think that's lovely. Yeah. But I don't think it started that way. And I don't think that was the fantasy of what was created. It actually happened by them being involved with each other for a long period of time. She having a hinge, she would be the hinge because she's dating both men and navigating that and them coming together, and then someone say, hey, you know what? We're around each other enough. Why don't we live together? That to me is more holistic because they've come up with an idea of how they want to live. They've already been involved with each other for a period of time, and it just made sense. And they went and bought a house together right here in Atlanta. So, but anyway, I can go further. I don't know how long this is, but I haven't done a live in years, and I've been inspired. But I think polyamory is here to stay, whether you like it or not. And I really think that women specifically need to open up to polyamorous dating. And because I think women, we were indoctrinated with the Cinderella story, the monogamous Cinderella story. And I think that's out the window. I don't think we really get fulfillment in that way. I don't think that one person can really satisfy all. Women seem to be dynamic. I mean, men are dynamic too, but specifically women are dynamic beings. We like a lot of things. We do a lot of things. I mean, out here in Atlanta, when you go out at night, you are going to, because of the population, of course, you're going to see mostly women, right? But it's not only population, it's also desire to be a part of the culture and to do things. So when you go out to restaurants, you see mostly women with a few handful of men who are on dates. But women will go out, it'll be 4 or 5 women going out to dinner. You don't see that as much here. When you go to an event, you're going to see a lot of women and you're going to see a few guys with their women. It's almost as if women drag the men out to do things in life. And that's what it appears to me. There's always a guy who's like coming with the woman to an event. And it's almost as if they wouldn't go to an event unless it's sports. But yeah, women, I think, are divesting because they're not satisfied in these monogamous relationships. Men are not showing up the way they traditionally were used to or thought they were supposed to. Men are tired of having to do everything as well. You have to realize that, ladies. Women have the ability to pay for shit. They have the ability to create the life they want. So why not? To me, this is the perfect time to get together with people because the burden is not on the guy at all. But we have to change our thinking, and you can have more satisfaction in your life. You can date. You can have your partner or partners. You could live your best life. And I'm not saying it's without problems. I can list problems for days. But I am saying that there are other ways to love and there are other ways to live. And they should be explored. It's not a one-lane thing. That's all for today, y'all. Peace.